Hello guys, welcome back to my social media channel. Okay, today I want to introduce a problem, anti-fragility for conscious development. Now, this is why the qualitative matrix really matters and OBI-Nexus. It's not really about the problem per se, it's about what the goal actually is. You know, because the system we don't really understand the real world, and that's why we have something called a working hypothesis. Now, a working hypothesis is the best explanation for a phenomenon, such as light and match combustion, or such as echoes, why things echo. We don't really know why things happen the way they do, because no one really knows everything. You know, it's a good GitHub that comes as bidirectional learning framework. The bidirectional learning framework starts as a new foundation in education to cross-reference two facts of information based on peer observation, something called sparse locality. I define it as sparse locality. Now, sparse locality is like if there is sparse, the space, the spatial plane of a subset group in a domain is called a sparse space. Like the area, the subregion of a Cartesian plane is sparse if it's that subregion of the same system or something of inquiry. It allows the phenomenological lensing principle or protocols if you implement it as a protocol. As PLP, GitHub.com/OBI-Nexus PLP serves for dynamic scale modeling systems. Now, DSC, the dynamic system, is akin to biodiversity. Because the dynamic scale system, along with the PLP framework, something I call local mix minimum and local maximum properties. Like the final function that works does the job very well at a local scope, but a global scope if it falls apart. And that's what I'm saying the goal of this dynamic scale system for locality and local minimum is based on PLP observation. And the information the component takes from the inside world based on the consumer, the observer, observing the world and observing the world around it. It's surrounded, its current state, it's based on 95.4% coherence, which is the default for coherence operators of the testing. Mitigating the coherence also across component resolutions in unit tests, integration tests, and system tests. The main goal of this PLP framework for the biodiversity model is something that I call, something I define as pre-conscious neurodiversity for anti-fragile systems. You know, the goal of the system is not because all systems are naturally fragile. You know, if you don't know what they're doing, hence the observer and consumer pattern as designed for the infrastructure silicon. Today I've put a medium post, but you know, this is more expanded directed instruction system or directed information systems. The goal is this systems must know what to do ahead of time before they make a decision. And this problem is the problem of pre-consciousness as well. Now, people with neurodivergent disabilities have a good pre-conscious vortex, but I'm going to give you the whole, the broader outlook, plus the coherent mitigation for my life work in neurodivergence, as well as computational for plasma systems. Now, OBI-Nexus plasma system prioritizes local minima and local maximum as threshold for sparse analysis. An example I'll give you is for anti-fragile mitigation. If I have something to intentionally fragment a system to make it better as it evolves. That's not the goal of that no more. So I'm going to give you my example. For me, I was watching the world as a child. In my head, I knew everything, but I knew it ahead of time as well. Because in my head, I was very as a child developing in a fetal position in my room. I was aware of my surrounding, but in my mom's room, I wasn't I'm pre-conscious because I was pre-conscious before I come consciously can feel and sense information around me. But the information was not really being in my mom's room, it was being also around the world. Not like mom, I didn't feel it, it was like internalized, what my brain can consume, until I started feeling and touching stuff. That is why I define as pre-cognition plasma systems. Plasma systems don't interact with the constraint, they are their own system that isolates, you can decay here, stop and start at will, because they use external parameters, external structures to persist in that environment. If you go to my light animal video, you find that the coherence of a light bubble that floats in the sky is a plasma system. But can you cohere if it's not coherent? Coherent. My goal today is to explain how OBI-Nexus addresses the anti-fragility problem with the pre-conscious perceptual membrane, or what I call the bubble consciousness model. Now, the bubble consciousness model is really a genetic genotype to phenotype relationship. Now, genotype is the genes that code that structure, the actual biology of that entity, how the directional system holds together. But the perceptual membrane is the phenotype, is where the phenotype develops, is where mainly phenotype rolls into a fetus. So basically, I'm stating this model of perceptual membrane or bubble consciousness is to pop that bubble. You have to pop that bubble always. But that bubble serves as a ring, or like a bubble to constrain information overhead. It reminds me of the bear from Nigeria where we did, but the bubble consciousness model is usually about the consciousness. Someone's consciousness, someone in it, just me, example, in a bubble. In the trying to float, trying to climb high, I'm trying to go to the sky, to the moon. And I encounter obstacles, then I fall down. Now, in that analogy, the bubble is never destroyed, it becomes stronger. Every time persuade, it becomes stronger. But the goal is to pop to a position of good aura, to go to a great way of doing something, a good new height, new foundation, a new better structure for the genotype and the phenotype, the person, the features of the genotype and the phenotype. The features faces as addition to the genes, sorry, the phenotype faces as the structure of the system, based on cognitive bias and cognition. I'm stating that the perceptual memory is really it's not a rock. It's nothing like that. You can't have a rock like that. Because the perceptual memory allows everyone like me to see the outside world, neurodivergent, fully, with no barrier. The concept of the perceptual membrane is really because I can see everything, but if I hear a voice in my head, it's not mine, and is that real or not? I start asking questions about it. I'm curious now. But that curiosity flows into my consciousness stream, and I observe it, and then process it without the external threat of that frame of reference. For example, someone hold a gun to me right now, and this was a fake gun. It was a fake gun, and say, "Hey, I'm joking with you. I'm going to shoot you back with a fake gun." Pop. And I say, "Oh, you're joking," and I call the police. And then the person say, "The fake gun knew about this." I will be jeopardized because this is my friend, and I pay practice on the police system. One thing to you, the power of this framework of anti-fragility lies in the perceptual memory concept and the relationship between you and I. For example, I can give a century in the window about something, about my children, about my sexual preference, everything, And basically, over here, a diagram of bio. That's the one. So I'm saying to you, the perception of my member based on the biology. Basically, I can. I had it here, but I couldn't find it. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure if you guys anyway, but it's kind of fragmented. I want you to look at it. Biodiversity, but I can't find it here. So, I can. I can give a century in the window about something. My children, about my sexual preference, everything. And then the person say, So yes, let's go for example. So I can say to you that I can coerce someone, hence the anti-coercion framework, based on direct psychology, because I'm trying to enforce this as a proper framework for perceptual memory. So our preceptor repositories for that system, like the anti-coercion framework, the dark psychology education framework, or other things that people can exploit human beings' perceptual memory, and documented as specifications of interacting with the perpetual and related system. So for adequate coherence for the people to develop neurodivergent people. The goal of this is to ensure that neurodivergent people are accounted for at all angles of bureaucracy and everything. Because the problem is we are not perfect as humans. We have to do our best. The best of the best. Especially when it comes to people who need care and support. The sanitizer I'm going to state to you, for me personally, this concept of distribution system and social from two, it can trace the function step by step as the derivative. If it is a derivative, based on the framework of reference. Because if two problems under the distribution system address the multiple problem, can have a shared variable or shared problem. We know identify that shared problem directly with one solution. We can offer two solutions to solve that one problem. Because the roof can trace steps as a elementary graph and model it as a GID in a shared cluster problem that two sets are isomorphic. Solutions. And then reduces the problem for that neurodivergent person. The pre-conscious model is not really about fragmentation. It's not about fragmented system. It's really kind of a perceptual bubble that allows neurodivergent to see the world in their own way and start expressing the relay to the system without fragmenting the environment they're already in. It's minor with the perception, but that's what the perception really is. The perception, the membrane, based on directly biased evolution. No, let me give an analogy. I had the friend, autistic, yes. He was 9 years old, and I was 5 years old. I just turned 5. He was being coerced to touch electric wires, that's talks. He was being coerced to just fidget with wires, electrics. Because that was his thing. Some of them never stick their fingers when they test. For me, it's a pattern. Because, this is just a pattern to me. It's just a pattern, really, no. It's just to regulate, put my head into timing. The timing of my mind is different. And this pattern of tick, tock, tick, tock, or this one, rhythm. It gets my brain in the timing to align with the framework of what I'm doing. And all the white noise diagrams clear that the message is just one beat. And there's a line what I'm going to do. Whether it's a lo-fi beat, whether it is white noise, brown noise, anything, rain sounds, these elements because the lot of noise in my environment right now to me. But it's not fragmenting me, it's because I'm trying to hyper-focus. The runner's high I experience in that state of mind cannot be disrupted in any way, shape, or form. Especially when I'm doing a competition or I try to outperform my peers at something. The goal of this framework is to push the limits of perceptual memory or plastic system in a way that's coherent. So when the plastic system decoheres, it doesn't affect the perceptual memory, already stabilized in the neurodivergent cognition. Because plastic system can decohere without affecting the whole ecosystem of the mind. And this also pushes the system. Now, one more thing. So we have a bird, one eagle. And an eagle has a nut. It's nuts. Now it is Newton's nut. The same nut as a tree nut, like from a fruit tree. And eagle now puts all the nuts under a rock. The eagle now smashes that rock basically, my friend died because he touched a little wire. He was touched a little wire and he died with a little shock. because they want you to touch, because they want you to play with why it's not really to do. Which is why we have the anti-coercion framework and all the dark psychology negation for the system. Now, my friend has a so basically this is what it's on my notes today. Anyway, so this is like your notes, perceptual framework, etc. You can say that for a while, say that, and then split. Okay, so I can come to my head. Yep, sorry guys. So basically, you got all of that there. I was trying to find out why I'm not broken. But you know, the bird puts a rock on the floor, and then the nut when the car rolls, and the ape take a big old rock and smash it on the nut. What is the coconut on the nut? This is coconut. But the bird and the ape want the same thing. Coconut juice, the coconut itself. So open. That has to go. It has to have the right cognition with the phenotype, the feature they saw it. Now, once seeing the foundation of intuition, infrastructure and self-intuition is based on your biodiversity. I can take my hand right now, because I have the digits fingers, to take a rock and smash a coconut. Or just throw a coconut, a bird has to from my height and will not smash. Because you get frustrated. That's why I believe that's why I know the direct evolution is better for the system model. The cognitive bias that we have, it can type, remember Okapa, and just looking at it. It's evolved, the cognitive bias is a powerful structure of the membrane, the perceptual membrane. It's approaching the information around the vast plane of existence of all sorts of information. One more thing. The chimpanzee and equality. It's not a duality per se. It's just a symmetry. It is a duality because chimpanzees want the same thing, but they are different entities, different phenotypes. Hind legs, foot, and they are different. It's not really the same consciousness to cognition for the biological system. A better way for the ego to solve this problem is to join something called like a contract system, a bi-contract. Which I call like an ecosystem, like a fox and a deer, a badger, that work together to solve one problem, and that becomes a mutual relationship between the two parties. But because the birds can see the ego can the monkey can spot prejudice and anything, cases like leopards and anything. But that's what I'm saying to you. The infrastructure is not really rooted in the individuals, the phenotypes, consciousness, condition, and model. Consciousness is fully subtracted. My concept of consciousness is based on my PhD. Is that consciousness is just it's very subtractive. It doesn't want to use one energy. It allows you to process information quickly because you don't think about being unconscious or aware. You don't even want to think about it. You're supposed to do your job. You want to be doing the job without thinking you're doing anything. And that's what the potential of being conscious is subtractive, not additive. It is. If it was additive, it would take all the, for you to be aware, you'd be like this slot. Like a slot animal. And you're falling from trees anytime you try to do something simple, like go to the park. By yourself on the bus. You just fall on the roadside, before you cross the road. What I'm saying to you is that the relationship between the intuition is isomorphic to all consciousness models, based on the cognition properties they do. The goal of this is to define consciousness for the neurodivergent principle and for a biological evolution need, not want, based on the infrastructure. The cognitive bias of a species really depends on the evolutionary characteristics of that of the species purpose goal phenotype model. And based on the pre-conceptual level and how the basically how the cognition rises at the pre level. and before you can actually start using your cognitive abilities to attain some tasks. The goal of consciousness is not speed, but a structure. Like, who is this person? Who is this identity? What are they capable of? And how they are able to do ABC. I want to sort basically biodiversity. Basically, there's one thing I want to add before I end this video. The biodiversity framework is really based on the system of alkaline and static skills, static dynamic skills. A static skill. So it's a static scale is 0 to 14, 1 to 14. pH, acid to alkaline, I believe. I don't know the way, but you know, the fact here. I'm saying to you that the static scale is not good enough to monitor the biodiversity. There's a mismatch between what can be in one domain, in an alkaline water, and what can be in a clean water. Because the static scale does not enforce the new kind of biological thing that can happen in a system. The goal is to have something called a dynamic scale that takes into account new fundamental features of an ecosystem, such as the function budget and how things work in the ecosystem naturally. An example I'll give you of a dynamic scale is in this framework is biodiversity. We all have different animals living somewhere, but if they can't survive in other biomes, such as what can't survive in the cold or in the what can survive in the wild, like but can't survive in the where camels can survive for a day. You know, there's no point of a biodiversity have been in that biome for them because they just go in and they just come back, and there's no point. Because they don't allow the country to explore new solutions to their own problems. What is grass? Because a horse can eat horse can eat grass all day, but and a camel can eat drink water and eat cactus all day. But these are the same things in different biomes. Yeah, but they are in different forms. Because then the horse has to say, okay, do I want a cactus today? I want a cactus, yes. Let me go to a biome where I can get a cactus. Or the camel can say, let me go to a reservoir. Let me find a reservoir to get some more water. You know, because see, these are different biomes that interact and ensure that they work together. You know, because you don't know the unpredictability of the nature of the biome you're in. And that's why migration is a concept for animal as they evolve. Migration isn't really about the moving or finding a girlfriend, even. It's about sustainability of the ecosystem you're already in. Can I stay in A? Can I go to this place B and come back at this time between A and B PM? Can I do ABC? The migration should be integrated to the anti-coercion and all the dark security mitigation that people use to ensure that neurodivergent people can navigate it to as they evolve, as their consciousness evolve, and we find out how intuition really plays into human cognition and consciousness, which are defined as subtractive. Now, consciousness is not really subtractive again, because this light bulb is 40 to 45 watts a day. A day uses that an hour, 45 to 45 watts an hour, every 60 minutes. But our consciousness, my brain, if I eat for one day, and I eat well, and I'm not hungry for the whole day, my brain uses only to 60 to 65 watts of energy, or joules. Now, compare that to the light bulb. That's consciousness in action. That's me not having to go too far. That's me having to just focus and do everything myself. You know, because consciousness just solves that fragmented problem. It's an optimizer and allows you to do many things without knowing you are really doing it. Because if you're living and you're just working as you don't really, you're conscious. You're having a blast. You don't have a problem with working, because you're not concerned with anything else. And that's what the anti-coercion and frameworks and all the preconscious lobe, the perceptual membrane, is meant to allow system to evolve and not fragmented based on brain computing interfaces. Thank you. Go to github.com/OBI-Nexus break BCI. Github.com /OBI-Nexus bankruptcy, which I've declared. And follow me on my social media, TikTok. Go to YouTube and find a more link for continuity. I hope this video. You hope guys like this video and try to create a safe space, a perceptual mirror for your kids and your future, so they can develop with the with what's happening around the world and able to navigate it too. I want you guys to use this framework and implement your daily living. Do not try to block your children from the internet. Get access it anyway, but should guide them to use the systems already but safely. Thank you. Or play games with them any way you want. Play nice games with them. Play with them because they're children.